Hey, what's up, cardboard people? Me again, turning on the camera to open more packs of cards. In this case, back to the old CCG well, with something I don't think I've seen anywhere else on YouTube, which is opening packs of the old Dune collectible card game, dating back to like 97, 98. I scooped these up off eBay. Dune, I'm a huge Dune fan myself. I love the first two novels by Frank Herbert. I love the David Lynch movie. I loved it as a child anyway. I haven't watched it too much as a grown-up. And I think I enjoyed the sci-fi miniseries that was on also, I think, sometime in the 2000s. But I love the world. I love the themes and everything. I have some board games. And so I would love to sometime get to play the CCG. Now, unfortunately, this is one of those old games that has like shot up in price on the auction sites over the last few years. It's probably the single most expensive one that I've seen. So I've not been able to get my hands on like any of the original run of cards other than for these 6 boosters here and a starter that I opened on the channel some time ago from the last expansion. So not even like of a name faction. These all seem to be related to this Water Sellers Union, which is not one of like the starring factions of the storyline. But I managed to get these for a couple bucks, not much more than what I would pay for packs of a current game. I don't really know what's driving this. Is it scarcity? Is it was this really that popular or well beloved? I don't think so. I mean, it didn't last very long. It didn't last as long as many of the other dead CCGs, and really, the game does not seem to have any sort of living community. I mean, I go on BGG, BoardGameGeek.com, and you know, there's sporadic posting on the forums there. I saw that it does exist on Tabletop Simulator, but that doesn't mean much because even in the thread announcing the Tabletop Simulator, there's no discussion. $3, huh? Last Unicorn Games. Interestingly enough, so you'll see these packs, they're all from this next to last expansion for the game, but you'll see they have these chapter numbers on them. And what I found out, and this may explain why this is the one product of the game that is still cheap, is that this is released in a very odd way, where different waves of the expansion had different cards, but each wave was maybe only 60 cards to make for a whole, after 3 or 4 waves, a whole set of, you know, a couple hundred cards. But it backfired on them. They called it like Rolling Thunder. This is what I picked up on the wiki, and they thought it was a way to make things more collectible, but the effect of it was that buying boxes turned out to be like a waste, because if you bought a box of wave 1 boosters, you'd get so many repeats, you'd complete sets so easily, that it just turned out to not be a great idea. I've heard of other games trying similar things once or twice. It obviously never caught on, and this reminds me of one of the problems of living card games, which I've explained in another video, but I'll go into that some other time. But essentially, basically, the idea was to keep things fresh and keep it more collectible. Every couple months release a little bit of new cards rather than a whole expansion at once. But didn't work out for them. Anyway, the company was bought by Wizards of the Coast. They fucked up this whole Rolling Thunder thing. Apparently this expansion's faction, these Water Sellers, were broken in some way as well. And, you know, the game ultimately died. But we can still appreciate this pretty interesting art. We went through some of these, what stood out to me. I mean, all of it. Dune has a look all of its own. This is why I think people love it so much, even when it was just in your mind's eye. This is like not sci-fi in the vein of most cookie cutter sci-fi, and it's come across in more or less every kind of version to try to bring it to life. Whether you're talking about board games or movies, they all include all these arresting, interesting visuals. They've certainly got that going on here. Fremen Siege. The Fremen were like, you know, the natives of the planet Dune. I'm not gonna too much go. I mean, if you know what Dune is, you know what Dune is. If it doesn't, you will shortly when it becomes a big Hollywood blockbuster property, or at least when they try to make it a big Hollywood blockbuster property. Is that why these cards shot up in price? People thinking that might drive nostalgia. Look, hey, for only 2 boosters, we did see quite a bit of repeats. So this may indeed have been a big problem, this whole idea of the waves. But yeah, make sure you guys get a good look at these. There's not many of these packs, so We can kind of slow roll them. Everything I read about the game to this day still talks about the monumental complexity of it. And you guys have heard me, ooh, Guild Bank Director. A still suit. You know, feces is processed down here in the thighs. I don't know if and urine as well. I don't know if you guys know that about Dune. This guy looks a little bit like the Paul they used in the miniseries, except for the brunette hair. But this predated that, so it's just coincidence. Atreides security guard. This must be a Thopter. It's an interesting look. Shifting tides. Noble-born. Samuda addiction. Was that described that way? I don't remember that. All that blue skin. The music-driven ecstasy of Samuda weakness. The sense of self that is vital for command. I think these guys did a great job with the design, by the way. It looks like a sci-fi game card, right? With all the lines, panels for information. I mean, really, I haven't read, other than the fact that they eventually broke the game, supposedly around this expansion or the last one. I've not read anything bad about the game. People who bothered to learn it did seem to think it was good, or certainly it lived up to the theme of its universe, or rapier, or repeats, strategic positioning, tithing clemency, Harkonnen sleeper troop, Samuda addiction again, Kandi Omesia. I think interestingly, I read that's this game. They they're still sued. In this game, they did not make it so that the named characters were necessarily the rares, and that's, I don't know. It's nice for the players so that people can play with the characters they know, even if they don't open hundreds of packs. But I don't know. It also makes it so you don't necessarily know what to chase, I guess. But I don't know. I don't think there's any reason in particular. I mean, it failed because it failed, like so many CCGs. There was a glut of CCGs in the era, but pre-Spice Mask, very cool. Poetic Conscious. Ooh, that's nice. Who drew this? Paolo Parente. I like that. Free Trader Scout. Smuggler Band. Diplomatic Settlement. Othheim. Warrior of Siege Saber. I remember this guy. His name shall be recorded among those who were most loyal to Paul Muad'Dib. You know, for those who have read the books, Dune Messiah is my favorite, so... My lungs taste the air of time, blown past falling sands. Gurney Halleck. Attack Sinister. Now, is that because it's sinister, or because, should the artist have known to draw that as a left-handed strike? I don't know. Padishah Lapdog. Padishah Emperor. Woohoo, that's nice. Muddled Vision. Brian Despain. Doug Beekman. Okay, and last one, guys. Man, again, there's so little content or discussion in this game on YouTube. I doubt anyone watching would even know if I've hit anything worthwhile within the scope of the game. But I like Dune, and I like these. They consider one of my collection. Pundi Rice Market. You know, I wonder if anyone will try to do a new game. I actually I bought a recent Dune Imperium, which is a board game that's part a deck builder, Smuggler Battalion. Matthew Innes. And it's got a lot of cards with decent art, but it's very based on the movies that are about to come out, so I'm not always a fan of that. Mark Zug. No, I've seen his art all over the place. That is pretty nice. Desert Hawk, Smuggler Commander. Advanced Team Reports. Smuggler's Ambassador. Paolo Parente again. I used him a lot. Name of the Great Mother. Ooh. Padishah Lapdog. Alright, well. There you go, guys. I know there were some comments asking if I'd get any more of this. I don't know if I'll get any more now. Again, it's become pretty pricey, but these can sit alongside the cards from the board game now. like I said, it's Dune. It looks its own way. It's very interesting. This predated everything other than the Lynch movies. A little bit affected by the Lynch movies, but I think all of its own. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed that little bit of nerdery. Take it easy.